They said 100 doctors couldn't save him. 100. From Harvard, Stanford, even one who'd flown in from Switzerland. And yet the one person who did wasn't a doctor at all. She was a 15-year-old girl whose mom mopped those hospital floors every night. Her name was Layla Carter. And in the halls of Easton Memorial, she was invisible. Until the night she made the world eat its own words. That night, the ICU looked more like a war zone. Alarms screamed, nurses shouted. A small boy's life slipped away on the other side of a glass door. His name was Matteo Romano, the only son of crime boss Lorenzo Romano, a man people whispered about more than they spoke to. Doctors had tried everything, every test, every experimental drug, but the kid was fading. And then came Layla, clutching her notebook full of scribbled formulas, her sneakers squeaking against the polished tile. Out of the way, Kid barked. Dr. Richard Collins, chief of pediatrics, all white coat and ego. "This is no place for you." Layla didn't move. "I know what's wrong with him," she said quietly. He laughed like she'd told a joke. "Oh, really?" The janitor's daughter cracked the case. "Maybe," she said, "because I actually paid attention. Nobody took her seriously. Why would they?" She was 15, black, and carried her lunch in a paper bag with her mother's name on it. But Layla had spent nights in that hospital studying the lab charts left behind, reading every medical journal she could find, while her mom waxed the halls. She'd seen Matteo's symptoms every day, the tremors, the hair loss, the blue tint on his gums. It wasn't a mystery disease, it was thallium poisoning. But Dr. Collins waved her off. "We've done every test imaginable. Don't talk about things you don't understand." Layla's eyes didn't blink. "You didn't test his urine for heavy metals." That made him spin around. "Excuse me. You're letting a child die because you're too proud to listen." Everyone froze. And through the chaos, a tall man in a tailored suit stepped out of the room. Lorenzo Romano himself. His voice was hoarse like sandpaper scraping steel. "You," he said to Layla. "What did you just say?" Dr. Collins jumped in fast. "Mr. Romano, don't listen to her. She's a janitor's kid." But Lorenzo held up a hand. "Let her talk." Layla took a breath, her fingers shaking around her notebook. "Your son's symptoms match thallium poisoning. It's found in rat poison, sometimes in contaminated food or water. His seizures, his stomach pain, the pattern of his hair loss. It's textbook." Collins laughed nervously. "Ridiculous. Thallium poisoning. That's movie nonsense. That's exactly why you missed it," she shot back. "Because you think things like that only happen to other people." Lorenzo stared at her for a long, strange moment. Then he said 3 words that changed everything. "Run the test." When the results came back 47 minutes later, the room went silent. The levels were 15 times above normal. Matteo wasn't dying of disease, he was being poisoned. Dr. Collins just stood there, color draining from his face, while Lorenzo, one of the most feared men on the East Coast, slowly knelt in front of the teenage girl everyone had ignored. "You saved my boy," he said, voice breaking. "How do I repay you?" Layla looked straight into his eyes. "Let me finish what I started. Someone's trying to kill him, and I'm going to find out who." From that moment, everything changed. She wasn't just the janitor's daughter anymore. She was the girl who'd humiliated an entire hospital full of experts. And she knew she was in danger. Whoever poisoned Matteo wasn't finished. Layla and her mom, Renee, started watching everyone, the nurses, the doctors, even security. One face kept popping up. Dr. Meredith Shaw, the night pediatrician. Always polite, always perfect, but too calm when others panicked. Layla noticed something colder behind those eyes. "Mom," she whispered one night, "I need you to keep track of everything Dr. Shaw does. Who she talks to when she leaves the ward, what she touches." Renee frowned. "Baby, that woman's powerful. You mess with her, she'll ruin you." Layla smiled that quiet, dangerous smile. She already tried. Over the next few nights, Layla planted small recorders, one in the supply closet, one behind the medicine fridge. She even hacked into the hospital system, using passwords she'd memorized from years of cleaning computer screens beside her mom. What she found made her blood run cold. Every unexplained death of a rich child in the past 2 years happened under Dr. Shaw's night shift. 7 kids, 7 wealthy families, all ruled medical mysteries. So Layla played dumb. The next afternoon, she approached Dr. Shaw, pretending to be starstruck. "Dr. Shaw, I hope I can be like you someday. Do you ever feel sad when kids die, even when you can't help them?" Shaw stiffened. "Excuse me. Oh, I just noticed some cases looked kind of similar. The senator's daughter, the judge's boy." The doctor's smile cracked. "You shouldn't poke around in things you don't understand, sweetheart." Layla lowered her eyes. "Yes, ma'am." But the recorder in her pocket caught the tremor in the woman's voice. That night, Shaw made a call one Layla recorded from a closet. "We've got a problem," she whispered. "The janitor's kid is asking questions." A man's voice answered coldly. "Does she know?" "Maybe. But who'd believe her? She's poor. She's black. She's nobody. Then make it look like an accident. Drug overdose. Teenagers do stupid things." Layla's heart pounded so loud she thought they'd hear it. They were murdering children for money paid by their own families to erase inconvenient heirs, and now they were coming for her. The next morning, she walked into the hospital like nothing happened. Hair braided, hoodie zipped, laptop in hand. She called an emergency meeting Dr. Shaw, Dr. Collins, the hospital board, and Lorenzo Romano. Everyone thought she'd lost her mind. But when she pressed play on her laptop, Shaw's own voice filled the room. "The janitor's kid is asking questions. Make it look like an accident." No one moved. One of the board lawyers finally spoke, calm but deadly. "These recordings are admissible in court. This is conspiracy to murder." Lorenzo leaned forward, his eyes like ice. "You tried to kill my son for money," Shaw whispered. "It wasn't personal. The families wanted—" "I don't care," he cut her off. "You touched my blood." 2 security guards stepped behind her chair. Dr. Shaw's face collapsed. She wasn't the savior of children anymore, just a killer in a white coat. And Layla, the girl she'd called nobody, sat across from her with a calm that looked almost holy. "You know," Dr. Layla said softly, "those silly questions I asked, each one was designed to make you reveal yourself. You just couldn't help it. Arrogance is predictable." When they led Dr. Shaw away in handcuffs, the entire ward fell silent. No applause, no cheers, just the sound of reality catching up with everyone who'd laughed at that girl. 6 months later, the headlines spread everywhere. Star pediatrician convicted of serial murders. 7 elite families exposed in child-killing scandal. Layla Carter became the youngest student ever accepted to Columbia Medical School. The Romano family funded a scholarship foundation in her name. Her mother got promoted to facilities manager, finally bought their first home. Dr. Collins lost his license and rumor says sells medical equipment door to door now. When reporters asked Layla what she learned from all this, she smiled the same quiet smile that had scared those doctors half to death. That genius doesn't wear a lab coat, and arrogance can kill faster than any disease. But here's the part people still argue about. Lorenzo Romano. Yes, the mob boss now funds hospitals for low-income families. Some say Layla changed him. Others say she just reminded him what real loyalty looks like. And every time she visits Mateo, who now runs around the pediatric garden laughing, she says the same thing to the nurses who once looked right through her. Never assume who's standing in front of you. You might be looking at the answer you've been searching for. So tell me, was justice really served that day, or did it just change hands from the powerful to the brave? Drop your thoughts below. Have you ever been judged before anyone even gave you a chance? Because maybe, just maybe, the next Layla is walking down some quiet hallway right now, waiting for her moment to prove the world wrong.